People. Oh, wait. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it that way. Hey, Facebook. Hey, uh, Instagram. Hey, good people. It's Friday night. Um, just got paid. Money in my pocket. We're not going to sing that last part. So so for those of you that don't know me, my name is Lolita Perry, but my friends call me Lola. I am the creator of Lola's World. Welcome to my world. In my world, it includes gardening. So what I want to do is give you some tips, some tricks, some hacks on to have a successful garden so that you too can live a self-sufficient life. That just basically means you can handle your business and take care of your own without depending on resources from any place else, right? So here we go. I just left Lowe's, and when I say like all of their plants was dying or dead, it was terrible. Last night we had a cold snap come through and they didn't cover up their plants, and as a result all of the herbs were dying. They were like completely flat. I mean, they were flat, and it was a hard sight to see, and it is because they neglected to prepare for the frost. So let me give you three very important strategies to be prepared for when you transition your seedlings from inside the house to outside. So let's just say, or if you've gone to the nursery and you've gotten your plants, there's a transition that they need to go through so that once you plant them outside, they don't go into shock and die because they're not prepared for the environment that you're getting ready to set them in. Okay, so we want to prepare our plants for this new environment that they're about to live in and thrive. So let me give you these three strategies. Now, so you've spent the winter growing your seedlings indoors. Let me show you. This is a tray of peppers that I've been growing indoors. The worst possible thing that you can do is, after these plants have been growing all nice and snugly indoors with their lamps and their lights, the last thing you want to do is just throw them outside into a climate that they're not used to. So let's prepare our plants to go outside, because if we sit them in the dirt after they've been in the house all nice and cozy and comfy, and we set them outside in a new environment, what's going to happen is they're going to go they're going to fail, they're going to die, they're not going to be happy, and they may not survive. Now you may get some troopers, okay? You may get some troopers that survive it, but more than likely your plants may not survive. So let me show you how you get your plants to survive. So there's three strategies I want to give you. Let me show you how to do it. So the first strategy is, while you still have them indoors, let me back up. Let me teach a little bit. So we want to put our plants outside after the last frost. And by plants, I'm talking about your vegetables and your fruits. Anything that's not a cool weather plant. Anything that needs hot temperatures. A cool weather plant is going to be your lettuce, your collards, your kales, your cabbage, your broccolis. Those things are going to survive. Cool temperatures that are below the 30s, they can handle the cool weather. Your tomatoes, your cantaloupes, your watermelons, your cucumbers, your squash, those are not ready for our temperatures to fall below 34 degrees. If the temperatures go to a place of below freezing, then they're going to go into shock and they're likely going to die. So you'll need to cover them up if you find that a winter frost is coming through. And normally in the DMV area or zone 7, we plant after Mother's Day. That's a safe pocket, a real safe pocket to determine when's the best time to plant your cucumbers, your tomatoes, your peppers, and things like that. It's normally Mother's Day weekend and beyond. The Farmer's Almanac is a great resource as well. They'll tell you in whatever zip code or zone you live in, when's the best time to plant what variety of plant outside, because you don't plant them all outside. Some plants thrive well in the summer, some plants thrive well in the fall and winter. You just got to know which ones to do that with. So as we're getting ready to transition our seedlings who have been growing indoors for our spring and our summer harvest, we need to prepare them to go outside. So here's the first thing you want to do. No equipment needed for this. It's tried and true. So what happens is your plant is growing and it has a stem, right? It has this stem. This stem is responsible for holding the weight of the leaves, right? And any fruit that will begin to grow on here. So, I'm sorry, I saw a message. So it's important that we strengthen that stem to be able to support the leaves and the vegetables. So the no equipment method you want to do, just take your hand and run it across your plant. Even when it's small, right? Just take your hand and run it across. That's going to literally toughen it up. It's like you're like, come on, come on. You're toughing it up. Just daily, just walk by and just run your hand over it so it can get used to the wind. You see what I'm saying? It can get used to being outside. You're simulating what it's like for it to be outside, okay? All right, had to make another adjustment. So we're simulating what it's like to be outside, okay? And that's gonna toughen up that stem, and it sends a message to your plant to toughen up, to get strong. So just run your hand across it gently every day. Just walk across the whole tray. Let me show you what the whole tray looked like. So the whole entire tray, if you're growing indoors, that's what it looks like. Just get them to toughen up. Hey, you're gonna live to see it happen. And just giving them a nice tussle. That's all you want to do. That's strategy number one. That's going to help them get strong. Another way you can do is you get a little fan. Take a little fan, point it in their direction, and let this fan run across them, blow on them. It's the same thing. It's preparing them to go outdoors, right? Just preparing them to go outdoors. This is the second strategy to get them prepared to go outside for the elements, what they're getting ready to face, the different things they're getting ready to endure. So you can do a little fan. This is like a little teeny clip-on. It's real cute. I found it on Amazon. It clips on to my stand, and I point it right at the vegetables, and it blows. Get an oscillating one. That would be great. You know, that would give a really nice feel for what they're getting ready to go through. Okay, so number one is to run your hand across your plants to toughen them up. Number two is to take the fan to blow on them. It does the same simulation. It just prepares them to be outside. All right. The third strategy that you want to do is called hardening off. Yeah. So again, because your plants have been indoors for a while, or they've been in the nursery, and they've had them in a sheltered environment, right? We need to prepare them for going outside. So what you want to do is lift up the whole tray, or take all of your vegetables, all of your little baby seedlings that have been nursed inside, and set them outside for, I want to say the first day, set them outside for 5 hours. But don't set them outside in direct sunlight, because that sunlight is going to be entirely too intense, and they're not used to it. They've been growing under grow lights, so the sun might burn your leaves, and we don't want to burn our leaves, right? And they might not be able to handle it. So set them outside for 6 hours. You can do it in a shaded area. Just put them out on the porch, just so they can get used to being in a different environment, right? For 5 hours, no direct sun. If you need to accomplish that, you can put a little shade, a little covering over them so that they're not in direct sunlight. You can put up obstacles so that they're always covered and the shade is always falling on them. That would be pretty neat, right? You can do it that way, and bring them back in at night. Don't leave them outside overnight. Day one, right? Day two, do the same thing. Leave them out there for 6 hours. Day 3, leave them out there for 7 hours. And as the temperatures, if you notice the temperatures are kind of settled at night and they're not dropping down below the 50s, leave them out there at night on day around about day 5, day 6. You can leave them outside overnight, just to get them prepared for being in a new environment. Okay, so those are your 3 trips, because 3 strategies, because if we take our baby seedlings and we just put them outside after they've been used to being indoors, that new environment could very well send them into shock, and we don't want to send them into shock. And if they go into shock, they could die, and we want them to survive. So remember those 3 tricks. The first trick is to take your hand each day and just run your hand over the flower, over the plant, just to make sure it toughens up. We want to get the stem strong and those roots to get strong and used to taking on outdoor environment. Number 2, you can use a fan. Take a fan and it will simulate the same thing. Take a fan, let it blow on your plants throughout the day, all day, so that they can get strong. You want that stem to get strong and get used to being pushed around, because that's what's going to happen when they go outside. The third thing is to harden off your plants. That simply means that we, on a day-to-day basis, we take the plants out, we introduce them to the elements, and we bring them back in. You can do that over a week or 2 weeks before you put them into the ground. Now, this is just best practices. It's not something that you have to do. It's something that does work, and it does prepare your plants to go outside. Hey, that's all I have. Do you guys have any questions? Let me know if you have any questions. I am here to answer any questions that you have, but I wanted to give you this tip because we're getting ready to come into some very nice days, or we've already been into some very nice days, and you may have put your plants outside and you're wondering what happened if a cold snap came through. If a cold snap came through and now your plants are drooping and you're wondering if they're survive, we're gonna find out. Time will tell. They just probably need to be warmed up, and in order to get restored back to their happy, healthy cells. But those are your 3 strategies. Use your hand to toughen up. Use a fan to toughen up. And number 3, make sure you harden those plants off before you send them outside. That's all I have for you. I hope that you find this tip helpful, that these strategies will help your plant survive. And if you have any questions with what's going on with your plants, please don't hesitate to let me know. And as always, you all have an amazing night, and thank you for coming to Lola's Garden. Have a great night. Bye-bye.